Went about, made some changes to the page, and put together some playlists, organized everything. I don't really do organization, but I think it's part of the individualization that I've taken an interest in kind of cleaning things up a bit. Um, I, dude, I suddenly had a flashback. Like, we're gonna talk a little bit about shadow work here in a moment. I had a flashback to Papa John's. I was working the make line, and Blondie got me with that shit because I said he was a reactionary. Because all Republicans are reactionary. They react. They don't think, they just do something stupid. And that's the same thing for every member of this church because they're the victims and everything. They're reactionary. They react. They don't think, they just do stupid shit and then get mad when they do stupid shit. And it's your fault because they don't have self-control or self-discipline. Blondie does not have those. And trust me, with his insecurities, he's gonna have to prove me wrong. Like, I do have those, when he doesn't. So, when I was at Papa John's, I accused Republicans of being reactionary, so Blondie hypnotized me into being a reactionary. And it was specifically a guy named Chris Bennett who fucking literally was like, Bobby, you're a reactionary, but here's the thing. At this point, I had been poisoned with so much heavy metals, I didn't have introspective. And I remember Blondie getting... Dude, Blondie, Kevin, and David all got pissed when I started talking about introspective, because it's a skill they don't have. So therefore, it cannot exist, because they're narcissists, malignant narcissists. Their skills they simply don't have. They do not have the ability to self-evaluate. The same way every one of these guys, whenever I talked about psychology, they said it was projection and I was projecting onto them. One of the funnier moments I had when talking to these people, because like I said, they were watching my news feed and I got recommended a video on narcissists and flying monkeys and how stupid people will defend a narcissist no matter what. Which is what this church does. They have a million flying monkeys that'll do whatever the guy in charge says, even if it's really stupid. And they accuse me of being a malignant narcissist without, and I was like, cool, where are my flying monkeys? And I remember Kevin just stared at me. Because that's projection. It is. That is what projection looks like, and that is why you sound like a dumbass when you just accuse people of what you're doing. Which is the standard of this church. Once again, they rape babies, they accuse you of it. Another example of this is Gannon showed me a video of some guy they were torturing, just harassing the fuck out of. And he went on a thing about how these people fuck babies, and Gannon was pissed about it because he doesn't want to be outed, because once again, external validation, he doesn't want people to think he has sex with babies when he does. And he's gonna lie about it. That's the entire thing, because fucking he doesn't want accountability, he doesn't want agency, he wants to run and hide because that's who he is, a child. She shows me this video of this guy saying that the church leaders have sex with babies, and then he literally, and this is the thing, this is how, dude, if anybody ever shows you a video, if they just approach you for no reason at all, and they're like, this is a video of so-and-so, don't bother with that gossip, okay, because one, the video is gonna be, out of context. You're not gonna know what's going on in the video, okay? And then they're gonna lie and accuse the person of X and Y, and that is the thing this church does. It's a part of narrative spinning, or lying is what it is actually called. It is called lying. And rule number one about anybody from a fucking church, their rules only apply to them. So when they go, we have these rules, you should go, your rules only apply to you. And then just keep saying that to them until they go away, because they're quickly going to learn they're full of shit. Another example of this behavior is, anyways, I got a little off track, being hypnotized. So Blondie hypnotized me to be a reactionary, and I remember Chris Bennett blew his top at me when I was working the make line. Because he's like, dude, all you're doing is fucking reacting. This isn't even you. You don't even fucking do this. You're a kind person. You help people. That's what you do. And he's just been in here being a fucking dick. And I didn't understand why he was so fucking mad. And I realized, like, later there was another guy I worked with that approached me. And he was like, they mess with your head, man. And I was like, who the fuck are you? And who are they? And I didn't understand what was going on because I wasn't cognizant. Look, you dumb assholes should have given me EDTA. Okay, I'm just going to say that. It's called chelation therapy. You should have given me that because that's how these people control you, is through heavy metal poisoning. Okay, it makes you just as stupid as they are. Yeah. But, so, these guys, they try to convince you of shit that's not true. And that's the end game, is they try to convince you of shit that's not true. And then they lie about it. And then they pretend that, like, this isn't going on. And if you catch them, it's, Argh! And that's how you know you caught them, because they're bad at it. And the worst part of it is they're bad at it. And they have the ability to completely destroy people's lives, but they're bad at it. And that's the issue, is they're bad. And I'm going to keep saying that because they're fucking bad at it. It's who they are. And, like, the shit is just, like, it is literally the try mentality, and wave after wave of person on it and, like, until it gets done. Like, it's literally just throw as many people to their deaths as you can until it gets done. Like, I just, whatever. But, yeah. And I realized when I was making these videos, because Blondie hypnotized me to be reactionary, he inadvertently hypnotized me to have a victim mindset. So instead of acting this entire time, I've been a victim brain because I was hypnotized into it. And this is a thing they do. They fuck with people, they mess up their minds, and then go, see, he's this or he's that, because they made them that. Not because they're good at reading people, not because they have skills. They turn you into it with their bullshit. Okay, and that, I guess, is the closest thing to being a god, is they can spray you in the face with some bullshit and then hypnotize you. Like, and that's their only skill. Like, that's it. But, like, here's the thing, sometimes it doesn't work. And I remember the Wise were talking about that dissociative identity disorder is one of the things it doesn't work on. It doesn't work so well on schizophrenics either. But there are some people it just doesn't work on, and the church immediately murders those people. Because, what is it? It is proof the narcissist's objective reality is fake. And they can't fucking handle it. I get tired of this shit. Because, one, regardless of what the dude, I remember Gannon was just, they convinced this guy he was the bad dude. And that's the thing about these bastards. They try to convince you of everything, and they don't stop. They'll do it forever, because they're fucking stupid, okay? And they have enough people who are dedicated to defending the human trafficking ring no matter what. They're willing to get themselves killed for the human trafficking ring. They have no morals and no values, and they have no value as people. And they get mad. And I'm going to go ahead and call it on this. When I was president, the Wise were talking about how insecure the women were in the church and how desperate they were to get men, and they would do anything to get a man. They would do anything to please a man, and they're telling me about this desperation in the women, and I was like, maybe they're just disgusting people. And I remember the wives like, look, you're going around raping kids and poisoning people with heavy metals. I know the adrenaline shit feels good, but this is the thing about that adrenaline shit. You come down, and when you come down, you hit depression. And you come into reality, and you realize what you shouldn't have done that. Okay? You shouldn't have hurt that person. That was a mistake. And that's why you feel so horrible about yourself. And all these people do it where they hurt you, and then they come back later, and they want an apology as if they're entitled to it. It's the same shit with Blondie. He feels entitled to things that he's not entitled to. He's just not. But in his brain, he definitely is, even though, look at the situation. He completely fucked this entire situation up. But somehow, like he said, he's going to spin a narrative and make me the bad guy. And I wanted to get into this because Anal Eating Mummy God had fucking contacted me and explained to me that Blondie isn't doing anything he said he was trying to do. He said that this has been a thing with the church leader, and he said that he saw it in himself when he was younger, and he sees it in all the church leaders, where they go, I'm trying to get people to do the right thing, but they're actually glory seeking, because they want the external validation, but they go around acting like they don't. And he was explaining to me that this entire situation, that basically Blondie had been secretly, like, I guess he talked to some people in the environment, not like to Blondie, but to like other people in my store that I guess, like, my dumbass ugly ass Goron manager said some off-kilter shit to me one time, explaining to me that, like, the reason she's a fucking cunt is none of my concern, but it's targeted, and she has to do it, and it's because she's part of this stupid fucking church. The spoilers, stupid fucking church, okay? And even her shit's perverse. What are you defending? A bunch of assholes. Like, what are you doing? Where are your values at? You're defending garbage, okay? Like, I just, whatever, man. It's myopic. And I remember Anal Eating Mummy God was explaining to me, whatever you do, don't fucking hate these people. To which I say this to Anal Eating Mummy God. I think my plan is going to be to challenge Blondie to something. And, I'm gonna cheat. Yeah. And he has to play it fair for once in his life. No LSD, no bullshit, no cheating, no backed by the church, so the church can't get involved no matter what. And I'm just gonna challenge him to that. And we're gonna see how well he does when he can't cheat, when he's not in control. And he may never feel in control ever again when I'm done with him. I'm just gonna be clear on that. He may spend the rest of his life just screaming and wondering and contemplating how I did what I did to him, and him going, I fixed my mind, I didn't know you could do this to somebody, and I'm gonna go, I know. But this stuff just occurred to me just recently, and I realized there's a series of traits, like, last night I was doing the shadow work, and I guess this makes this a shadow work video, so I'm going to add this to the playlist. And in that shadow work, I began seeing, of course I'm pissed about the fucking hypnosis, because everything he did, once again, here's something really stupid. Blondie literally said he would never cheat or do anything, like he was going to beat me fair and square and not cheat, and what does he do? He immediately hypnotizes me. And this is the thing about integrity. He said he wouldn't cheat. He immediately hypnotized me to say shit about Mary Bowberry so he can have Mary Bowberry. That's cheating. Okay? Hypnotizing me is cheating, dumbass. Okay? That's how that works, you stupid fuck. And this is another thing about my word is my butt. Shove it up your ass, you lying sack of shit. Okay? Dude, even playing video games with him, he had to cheat. Like, I just... keep him fighting, dude. Okay, that's the world you want to live in. In my world, it would be a little bit more fair, because I would go, everybody, you have to keep them fighting one hand behind their back. So everybody in the church would be obligated to cheat at everything. Board games, cards, nothing would make any sense. You would have track and field events that just turned into straight up shootouts. You would have fucking football games that turned into people throwing hand grenades and blowing holes in the field. You would have sick people who are diseased and dying in the field because other people poisoned them so they could win. And the guy that won would probably be the guy that ran and hid the entire time while everybody murdered one another, and that guy would probably end up being the winner every time, because that's the kind of world these people want to live in. That world. Okay? But like, my rants aside, I was doing the shadow work, and I came across traumas, and I began integrating them, and as I began integrating them, I started feeling really sad. And then I came across these weird things. I don't know how you would describe them, like demons or something. Things that were in my mind that I guess were interlopers, things that weren't supposed to be there. And I realized they were hypnotic suggestions from other people. An example of this is Jasmine, basically for whatever reason, I gave Jasmine a list of things I was before they took me out there. Now, when they took me out there, they turned me into a narcissist. So I didn't start out as a narcissist. I started out as a Bob. And then they turned me into a narcissist when I was out there. So I am, in fact, a narcissist. And I realized that looking at my videos, because there's 43 about this Church of the Anal Eating Mummy and 143 about me and my thoughts on the subject. Very narcissistic. So, yeah. So I have Jasmine's hypnosises, which were her fucking with all this shit Stu did. And Stu just, I guess the goal was to make me fascist. And I guess that's why I think peace is erasure, is because that may have been hypnotized into me. And that's why I have such a violent reaction. And it's an instant, like, fucking reaction. And I get pissed off instantly. And then there's Blondie's bullshit, where it's literally him, like, I guess, making deals with people, telling them he's trying to help. Well, every time he interacts with me, he hypnotizes me, and it's that devil shit. He's the devil that pretends to be the good guy. And he literally, like, literally, in some of his explanations, explains how badly he needs to be the hero, and I don't understand the good life, and I can't have it, and just, it is garbage, head junk that, like, he just uploaded into my brain using bullshit hypnosis. And as I'm working through these pillars of all the bullshit this motherfucker did, I realized what Anal Eating Mummy God was talking about. That fucking Blondie was working against me the entire fucking time, and every one of these women out there probably even now still believe him. I bet they've never even seen any of my videos. I bet that. I bet they've never even seen any of the videos. And I would even go as far to say that, like, this is the whole fucking truth about these fuckers. It is that shit. Goodness is a virtue signal. Blondie knows he has to pretend to be that guy in order to be the good guy. He knows the role. He knows what he has to pretend to be, but he can't ever be that thing because of who he is. And that's just a fact. He was explaining to me that he doesn't want me to destroy the church. He doesn't want any of this to go through, but he knows in order to please the women and make sure the women are on his side, he has to act this way. And it's important the women like him. They have to like him. He can't be weird. He is weird. And he went on a thing about Carolina Herrera and how badly he wanted that, and it was my fault, and victim, and he went on a fucking tirade, and then he tried to hypnotize me into feeling bad for something I didn't even remember. Yeah. Talk about fistician, okay? You don't remember something, and somebody's like, you're gonna feel bad for something you don't remember. Like, I'm a little annoyed that I can remember these hypnosis sessions, but I see them all. I even see the one with the lady and the other people I'm refusing to mention on this channel because I certainly don't want the church finding out about those people. The other people's shit's way more bizarre. And it makes no sense, but it actually makes perfect sense. And it actually explains why, you know what, I'm not talking about that. But yeah, I guess in conclusion, I have a bunch of shit that's hypnotized into my mind, and my subconscious may be filling me with inaction until I remember the power of kindness. But not, I guess, letting me do anything or acting or anything until I remember how to be kind, which might be something that's hypnotized into me. I don't know. It's a weird thing to be like, you need to remember how to be kind. I don't want to be kind. That is the current issue.